Welcome to this lesson on congruent segments. Make sure you have your math dictionary to record the following words. I'm going to post them up, let you pause the video for each word, write down the definition. We'll go on to the next one. I'll give it about 3 or 4 seconds, so make sure you pause the video at each word. Here's the first word: congruent segments. Word number 2 for the day: midpoint. Word number 3, bisects. And segment bisector. Following this, I'm going to dive into a few examples. So today's focal point is about midpoint and bisectors. Midpoint essentially cuts something in half. So our question is, if B is the midpoint of AC and the length of AC equals 28, what is the length of AB and BC? Well, if I draw this segment, and I have a segment here where B is the midpoint of AC. So here's A, here is C, and B is right in the middle. I'm doing my best to get it in the middle. There's B. Now I might not be off, but if I make these tick marks mean that AB is the same length as BC. These are our congruent segment tick marks. So there are two segments are the same. It says if AC is 28, so if the whole segment is 28, and we can break it out down into two equal parts, then we can take that 28, cut it in half, and we get 14. So the length of AB is 14, and BC is also 14. Another word we might come across is this word bisects. This problem says that line, I say line because there's a line on top with arrows, line DE bisects segment AC. If segment AC equals 32, what is the length of AB and BC? So again, this line DE is a segment bisector. It cuts it in half, meaning that B is the midpoint. So again, if AC is 32, we have two equal parts, AB is 16, and BC is also 16. Here we don't have a diagram, so we'll have to draw our own diagram. It says line DE bisects segment AC. So we need to draw segment AC. Oh, pen's acting up on me. Here is segment AC, and it says that line DE bisects it. So here is a line with a point D and C on it. And the midpoint is at B. So if AB equals 4x plus 5, and BC equals 2x plus 9, we need to find the value of x. Well, if line DE cuts the segment in half, we have two equal segments. Therefore, I can set AB equal to BC. So I take that expression, 4x plus 5, And if we can set it equal to 2x plus 9 and solve this for x. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. So we get 2x plus 5 equals 9. Get the constants together. So subtract 5 on both sides. We have 2x equals 4 divided by 2. And x equals 2. Now that gives us a value of x. We need to plug it back in to find our segment AB. So AB is 4x plus 5. We can plug in the 2 for x. So we get 4 times 2 plus 5. So the length of AB equals 13. And if we double check, BC will also equal 13. And we can check 2 times 2 is 4 plus 9 is 13. So once we solve for x, there are moments where we have to plug it back in to find our segment length. The only other example I'm going to touch base here quick is given the diagram, it asks just to find the value of x. So if we're just looking to find the value of x, we're going to look at this diagram, and I see these tick marks indicating that we have congruent segments, meaning xy, this segment, is the same as yz. So if that's the case, xy is our 2x plus 4, and yz is our x plus 16. We're going to solve for x here. I'm going to subtract x as a positive, move it over. So we have x plus 4 equals 16. Got to get the 4 over to the other side, so we're going to subtract it over, and x equals 12. So use these examples to help. Here is your assignment.